I didn't really know a lot about like this category or this subject, so I wanted to learn more about it so I could be more educated when I like go get a job and everything.
Good.
I was I had never seen like a financial course at the library before, so I was excited to see what it was about and like test my skills with all the sessions and stuff and learn new things like about retirement.
Well, I heard about it, and part of it, like my parents told me about it, so I thought, why not give it a try? Because before this, finances were really not like my favorite topic, and I knew almost nothing about them. I still don't like the topic of finances, but at least like I know how to save for college, and I know how to like stay out of debt and balance like my costs and expenses with how much I earn. So.
So, follow-up question is, how did you hear about the program?
I was doing work and I saw a poster in the teen library.
Same. Our mom saw the Cash Carnival sign. I mean, Monopoly Mayhem, and it said life size Monopoly, and I really like Monopoly, so she took us, and then we got interested in the course, and we kept on coming.
I'm trying here. I'm trying, I really am.
I was referred by her and her. Yeah.
I feel like 50 Cent trying to run these out. If anybody keeps up with those
Olivia told me.
Good job. Good job, Olivia.
I was also like referred by a friend, but then she stopped coming, so
Kept going.
yeah.
Cool.
My mom saw a ad for it like on the Detroit Public Library website, and then she made me come to the first one.
Olivia, do you want to answer the next question?
Did the program meet your expectations?
Actually, it kind of did much more because like I thought it was just like basic financial topics and all that, but then it actually taught me like it hit all the goals that I wanted. Like it taught me about college, retirement, and all those things that like I was interested in and I didn't know how to save up for before this program, so I think it helped out a lot.
It exceeded my expectations because at first I just thought it was going to be Monopoly Mayhem, and then it was going to be all over.
It read, it reached my expectations and more because I didn't expect it to be so fun and so interactive, and I didn't think we were gonna. I think it was just gonna be like kind of lecture, like school, and it was completely the opposite. We all participated, and it was really interactive, and it was really fun.
I actually think the course was really good because a lot of financial courses usually you're stuck in a room talking about term after term after term, and we actually did stuff and went places. And I think the course did a really good job of applying like activities to financial stuff. I think that the course did a really good job of that. As far as material, I did get what I expected, mainly retirement, a little bit more, but mainly a review.
Oh, and also, I was reminded, if you could avoid playing with the box at the end, it's, I guess it's the battery and it messes up the memory.
In a way, yes and no. Yes, because I thought it was just going to be about college, And then you guys talked about it a lot more, but no, because it didn't go as far in depth about like how to save for the near future as I wanted.
I know that a number of the classes were set up in lecture style. Did anyone feel like they were in school while the courses were taking place?
I mean, you fed us, so.
I think we have some comments over there.
Whose hand's up? Whose hand? I'm sorry.
Not really. It wasn't really like a school session. It was peaceful and it was more fun than a school session.
Anybody else?
I actually think that it depended on the teacher. So some teachers, I felt like parts of their presentation seemed a lot like school, but then some of them were willing to answer our questions and then really understand what we were asking. And so those teachers I really appreciated.
Getting into that topic, what did the teachers do that you liked specifically?
Well, they like included us. They kept asking us questions to keep us awake, I guess. And then so
One of the teachers at 3 or 4 sessions, I believe, passed out gold coins.
One of the teachers, I don't remember her name, in specific, when we would raise our hand and ask a question, she would kind of for a while change the way of the course to in-depth, really answer the question and just go really far with it. So that was really great.
I am going to be really, really specific. I really liked the first teacher, Amy, and then I also liked the teacher who taught the preparing for college session.
Carrie?
Yes.
Carrie Gilchrist from Oakland?
Yeah. I think the thing that made them really, well, first of all, they were nice to us. Second, I think Amy taught like she legitimately sounded sincere, as if she cared about what we did with our futures. And then what I liked about Carrie was that she, even when I didn't know exactly what I was asking, she could turn around and tell me what it was that I was asking, because she was closer to our age and she understood what we would be going through.
Okay.
I really liked the open lectures and the hands-on activities that we did. I really liked the definitions game that was set over there, kind of in the left corner, that we had in the open lectures, and also, like he said, with the gold coins. I thought those were really fun and, something different than lectures every day. So.
All right, and then on the reverse side, what did some of the teachers do that you didn't care for?
There was one teacher, I didn't go to her class, I was watching the video yesterday, and so this person, people were talking, but she got really angry. And I mean, you're dealing with kids, of course they're going to start talking and do things you don't want them to. I mean, that's all part of being a teacher. Plus, it's Saturday morning. Yes, we're going to talk with our friends. It's okay.
One teacher ignored me throughout several sessions. I kept on raising my hand. She kept on telling me just a second and would never come back to my question.
Anybody else? Getting on the topic of Saturday morning sessions, how did the day and time work for you guys? I see some heads shaking no.
I think the time was probably a little early for Saturday. It kind of was like, I'm tired, I don't want to get up, and it was kind of like a drag when you went to the class. But otherwise, it was nice on a Saturday. I think the day was nice. I don't know, I just think maybe like an 11 class. I think the actual day was nice, but maybe just a little bit later. It was just kind of early, I thought, for Saturday.
I thought that the time was perfect because, like, a normal school day, I get up at like 5:30 in the morning. So, like, sleeping till like 8 or 9 and then getting up and coming here. But, like, having it at 10 and only lasting till like 11:30, it's still not like taking up your whole day. So you still like have the rest of the afternoon to do whatever.
I didn't think it was too early. It's just there were other classes that I had to go to which happened at the same time, so I had to miss a few sessions. So it was kind of hard to manage a little bit.
I thought the timing was perfect if the library opened a little earlier, but the fact that winter lasted extra long this year, and so people who were waiting for the library to open were just like kind of there turning into icicles. So maybe next time it'll start maybe like 15 minutes after the library opens, and then no one will have to wait.
For me, the timing was actually really good because if it wasn't early, I would probably be sleeping in until like 11:45. So I can do more with my day, and I can spend more time at the library afterwards. And so I think it actually helped me out.
Another hand? No?
Okay, assume that there was no scholarship opportunity. Would you still have registered?
I would have definitely registered because of the cash carnival.
Can you guys watch the box at the bottom?
I registered without knowing about it, so it was kind of just a bonus.
Yes, I probably still would have like been referred or something because like I wouldn't know like what to do with like my college years and like what not to do, like not do loans and other things like that.
Yes, mainly because the library got money to do this program, right? So if they decided to spend all this money on this program, then obviously it must be something good.
I would have still came because it gave you like good information on how to save and spend your money wisely for college and just other things. So yeah, I would have came.
Okay, what did you enjoy most about the program?
I really like the interactive things when we did things as a group or things like as a team.
I liked how we like learned in like fun ways, like because like if we just like sat down and we just like listened like the whole time, we wouldn't really like learn anything. Yeah.
I really liked all the social events and the food at the sessions, and I really enjoyed laser tag. That was the best.
Was there one more hand over here? No? Okay.
Okay, and what did you enjoy least, or what do you think could have been done better?
What I believe what could have been improved or done better is probably to change up the sessions and not have it always like a lecture, probably open lectures or probably lectures that include game while you're learning. Something to like, change it up and not every Saturday when we come it's like the same thing, lecture, because it gets, kind of boring sometimes, and you just want to change it up, or probably to add more games. So.
Maybe there could be like a 15-minute review of the previous session because obviously at our age we don't recall all of the information we learn at one time.
I thought the course was really good. The mainly only thing I would change is just the food. It was kind of like, I've noticed a lot of stuff I go to usually incorporate cheese or, I don't know, just like you could have that stuff, but just like something on the side maybe without dairy or, I mean, I don't know if that's a lot of people that have that problem, but maybe something less energetic, just more food choices, I guess.
What food choices would you guys recommend?
Okay, one at a time. How about this?
Oh yeah, at the beginning of the sessions, for a lot of the sessions, we had the donuts. That was amazing. That made me happy.
The Einstein bagels with the strawberry cream cheese. That was delicious.
Did you want to give input on that? Okay. Suggestions for food? No? Okay. Okay. Right, sir.
Well, any of the food that you already offered. I mean, it doesn't really matter what kind of food as long as it's just something to eat. So.
Hand. I know something. No?
I don't have any specific food choices that I want you to add. It's so disappointing when I come over and I'm like, they're going to have Timbits. That's why I'm waking up today. and then we come and then it's not. But then, I mean, it's okay because then you eat less. But I think you should just keep it consistent.
Maybe something other than orange juice all the time. I like the apple juice at the beginning.
So would you guys prefer us to tell you what the food choice was going to be in advance of the program?
That's interesting. What do you all think about fruits? Yes.
Fruit?
Okay. Hands?
No, I actually kind of liked that you guys kept us guessing because then I would be like, yo, what are we going to have this week? The only thing I didn't like was like the granola bars because like I have granola bars like every day in the morning because I don't have time to eat.
Any more?
Okay.
Input?
Okay. Wait, I have a question. What question was that originally?
What did you like least? What could be improved? Yes. Yeah. We did get off on a bit of a tangent, but that's good. That's the kind of stuff that we want to hear. Going back to the original question, is there anything else that you guys can think of that the program could have done better?
I think just avoiding the type of teacher that doesn't like teaching younger kids. That would be the only thing for me. Oh wait, one more. Also, on the videos on the website, I would have liked a transcript because I like reading through the information. I think it's faster. So, yeah, just to add those maybe in the description of the YouTube video or something.
I kind of wish that we got to know each other's names because we were going to be here for a couple of months and I don't really know any of you.
Just to piggyback off your question, were you able to view the PowerPoints with? I was. Okay, were they helpful to view the?
Some of them were really vague, though. Sorry. Oh, it's okay. Some of the PowerPoints were really vague, and so I couldn't get all the things that I needed from them. And so then I was forced to watch the videos, but the videos are obviously 90 minutes long, and it's a school week, so I'm like,
Okay.
Maybe like one or two more social events. They really kept me coming, but after like a long period of time, I started like kind of not wanting to come. Then after another social event, I was refreshed and financial upcomingness.
I thought the trivia events were just awesome because it was like a super review, and then you felt like empowered to go to the next class. The only thing I would suggest is probably a few more sections like on what you learned, because a lot of that stuff, like the first trivia, I don't think anybody was expecting a lot of those. Like they were cool, the questions that you asked, but it was like, I don't know. I guess it didn't seem like it was enough like course questions. It was like,
They seemed a little offbeat.
yeah, some of them. Like I liked that, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know. It was more, you didn't have enough points from what you did know to what you didn't know. It was, I don't know, just more
Right.
course stuff.
For like the online things, I was sort of confused because they said there was like quizzes so you could receive credit, but then I had no idea how to turn them in and stuff, so I just sort of stayed away from that. And I missed a few sessions, and I wish I could have like had the opportunity to do them.
Just to get on that point, the videos and quizzes that are available online, if you fill out the quiz, generally you can submit it to Olivia. You can email it to her if you choose to complete it online at O.Olson, OLSON, at troymi.gov. Or you can bring it in and either hand it to me or her. I'm in the administration office at the far end, and Olivia is usually in adult services. And you can still receive credit for taking the quizzes.
If I'm not there, you can give it to any of the adult librarians, and they'll get it to me.
I feel like the videos that you have on the website should be kind of like a summary because they're so long, and sometimes people, like the students, can just get like tired of it or just bored and just get distracted. So I feel like there should be kind of a summary of the main points that were important that should be there, and that should be on the quiz.
In video form or in text form?
In the video form.
In video form?
In the video form, when you have the video, probably not 90 minutes long. I was thinking probably like a half hour with the main points, and then you can take the main points and put them on the quiz.
Do you think students should still get credit for those quizzes if they watch the summary instead of coming to the personal class, or is this just in addition to watching the class video?
I feel like it should be just in addition, the
Just in
quizzes,
addition,
to show
okay.
that you actually watched it and to show that you learned something from it.
Okay.
I kind of feel like you should get credit even if you watch the summary because like some people can't really attend the classes like me. I have a couple of quizzes that I need to return because I was unable to attend the ones that I missed.
Okay. How responsive was the grant team, meaning us, to your questions and keeping you informed?
Very responsive, and I liked Ariana's "You'll just have to wait and see" for the Cash Carnival. She kept on telling me that.
I thought it was really good because like every week on like in the morning, like before we ever start anything, like you'd like go up and like talk to us like about what's happening throughout the week and like on.
I really had a lot of fun because of all of you guys. You guys were all really nice and really helpful, and I liked working with you.
All right, so this is the program's 19th session. It's gone for almost a year. We started in September, and it is now almost the middle of June. Do you guys feel that 19 sessions was too many, too few, just right?
I honestly thought it was like too many. If like it would have been like a few less, then it would have been like perfect. Cause like it's the school year and everyone has a lot to do on the weekends. So yeah.
I agree with that statement. I feel like the fact that you had to give up your Saturday morning. It wasn't, the timing was good. I don't think I would have been able to pick another day. But just the fact that it's during the school year made it too long, no matter how long it was. One thing that I maybe would have liked was that all the content would be at the first maybe hour, and then the last 30 minutes could be for activities for the people who didn't understand how everything worked.
Yeah, that would be a good way to put it, like the content at the beginning and the activities at the end, because I know I missed a couple of sessions because like either I had like tests the following week or something and I had to just give them up. So then maybe if it was like content based at the very beginning, I could like leave for the next half an hour and then go home and do what I needed to for school.
I think personally the sessions were just, like good, like that was 19, because like throughout the whole year that's like a lot, because we usually have like every other week, and like besides like this week because it's like almost the end. But every other week sounds really good because like one week you can like take a break from it, next week you can go back to learning.
Basically the same thing. Like if it was 19 sessions every weekend, that would be like, I don't like that, but like the way that you spaced it out I thought was really good.
I thought 19 sessions was perfect because pretty much in the end it's only like 28 hours of your time that you're using.
Are there any topics that you thought could have been removed from the 19 sessions? Any topics that you would have believed that if we had cut them out, we wouldn't have lost anything?
I started coming from like the very beginning, but I didn't even like start really having like an interest until we got to like the kind of like the middle, when we got towards like the college stuff, because like the first few were really like, I don't know, broad and vague, and I thought that we could have just saved those for when we like got into that certain topic and then went in depth with that instead of like trying to cover a ton of stuff in one day.
I feel like that every month you guys should have like a certain topic going on for that session, and then the time when the students come to the session, it'll be dealing with that topic, and then the next month it could change. So it could be something like new every month instead of something different every week, so that way we stay in the same topic.
I think that like all the sessions were really good, but like the order they were in could have been changed, because we did like college planning and then like investing in your 20s and 30s. And I think if we started with like college, it would have been a lot more interesting because it pertains to more of us.
So you use college as kind of an introductory session to bring people into the program. Mm-hmm.
And I know they're like, when do you start investing? Now. but I don't think I'm allowed to buy any stocks. I don't think anyone's going to be like, you need to go out and get a bond. But yet those are the things that we learned first. Yeah. The stuff that we didn't care about. But the fact is, it's at the beginning of the year that we have the least homework, so the most time to show up and come. Mm. So the stuff that actually pertains to this age group would be the things that you'd want to put first.
I thought that the order they were in was pretty good, but the investing with the stocks, I mean, that was also good, because, I mean, they're telling you this to, like, in case your parents aren't investing in stocks, so...
Thank you.
Okay. And what did you think about the social events? Were they important and relevant to your participation in the program?
They were very important. They kept me coming throughout the whole 19 sessions. If they weren't there, I probably wouldn't have come to all of these sessions.
It kind of gave purpose to the course. It kind of like, even though it wasn't related, it kind of made the course like that special event you wanted to go to because you knew you could look forward to something. So I think that the way you guys spread out the special events was really good. Like you had like you didn't have them just like in one clump, and then there was nothing to look forward to for the rest of it. I like how you spread them out, and then like the Cash Carnival, like everybody's looking forward to that. That was like a really great way to bring people back, and almost like it helped you come. It made you want to come.
Thank you.
You guys need to, like, at the classes, it should also be like, oh, there's a social event here. Because I think there was only one class where they told everybody that there was a social event. So, I mean, it's because some of us don't use the internet that much. So.
I think there could have been more, because on a lot of the dates that there were social events, I wasn't able to go, so that meant I'm short on for the what's it called, for the scholarship. So I wish there were more so I could attend.
I have a quick follow-up question. How relevant were our social media outlets? I mean, did you guys go on our Facebook page, the Twitter feed, the website?
I personally have gone on your Facebook page, but I get most of my updates from Olivia when she sends us those emails. And then during tab meetings when we go over, okay, this is what's happening at Finance Your Future this month or week or whatever. So I think word of mouth was most effective in my case. I don't know about anyone else. And then what was the before question?
What did you think about the social events?
Oh, right. Okay. I really liked the Monopoly event at the very beginning because sitting in jail gave me much, it made the course much more effective.
I think the social events, there was like not that many, I think. I don't know, because I wasn't really aware of any of them. And I wasn't aware there was a Facebook or Twitter page. So I basically just checked the website and hoped everything would be on there.
For me, I wasn't aware either of the Twitter or Facebook page, but then I feel like the emails that were sent out, like I think the Thursday or Friday before each session, were really helpful because they served as a reminder. But I don't know if this is just for me or like for everyone else too, but like those emails just stopped like about a month or so ago, and then like we didn't have any reminders, so I had to like go on the page and like make sure I wrote everything down so that I could come at the correct date.
This is like a social event suggestion. What if you guys do like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing? Because I think that'd be cool. Thank you. Hands? No? Okay.
I really like the Facebook page because I use that the most, and I liked how it would keep an update, like it would list out this is what's happening, and that really helped me to know, like, because I missed a lot of sessions, so that helped me stay in the loop.
I really liked the website. I like explored every corner I could find of it, and I played some of the games that were on there. They were okay.
I mainly relied on the emails. You guys kept telling me to check the site, and I don't even have a Facebook account, so that really messed me up. And then the site, I kind of just went there to download stuff. I really didn't, just kind of, I mainly relied on the emails. I went to the site like once or twice. You guys did a good job like designing the site. I just didn't like really explore it. I just kind of wanted to sit there. I used the email, so those were really informative, like right before the class. Those were like nearly necessary.
I want to give a shout out to Media Genesis who designed the website. Okay. What did you guys think of the Monopoly money as an incentive? I know you guys haven't been able to use it yet since we're not at the Cash Carnival, but as something to keep you coming back to the program as an incentive, what do you guys think of the Monopoly money?
It was wonderful. It it was fun seeing how much cash I could rack up, and then it was interesting to see how much the Monopoly money was going to be worth at the Cash Carnival.
And also, are you excited about the prize or the potential prizes?
I liked how you had us get Monopoly money when we went to the sessions, because that would keep us going to the sessions. And then at the end, I like how we're gonna do something fun.
I like the Monopoly money. I wish it was different from my home Monopoly money so that I didn't get it messed up, because my sister owns the Monopoly at home. So she's like, Akko, why'd you take my Monopoly money? I'm like, no, it's not yours. It's mine. So maybe deciding FYF's own money would be better. But I am really, really excited for the Cash Carnival, especially since I actually didn't lose any of my money like I thought I would. I kept using them as bookmarks, so.
I sort of did what she didn't do. I lost almost all of my money. I'd get money from the sessions, and then I'd go home and put it somewhere, and then I couldn't really find it. So, if there was a way to keep track of it without actually physically having it, that would be a lot helpful.
For me, the Monopoly money was a huge incentive at first, but then after a while, I just kind of lost track of it. In all honesty, I think last night I looked through the bag that I used for this program and everything, and all around my room, and I found a ton of the Monopoly money, which I just used as bookmarks or just kept lying on my desk. So I think it I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is not for everyone, but for me, it just kind of I lost interest in the actual Monopoly money part of it.
Well, then the incentive of the money was so you could save it to use at the carnival. But what if you couldn't come to the carnival? Then you feel like you came to all these classes and got all this money, and you have nothing to do with the money. So,
Did you guys realize that us giving you the money so you could hold on to it was intentional?
I also began to lose my Monopoly money until you gave me the Monopoly money clip. So now I have every single dollar that I ever got.
I lost money as well because I would keep it in my bag, and then I'd put it somewhere, and then I'd be looking for it, and then I wouldn't find it. This morning I thought I knew where it was, and then it wasn't there. So.
This is just a suggestion for everyone who lost theirs for next time. I kept mine in a Ziploc bag, and that really helped because I didn't lose any.
Thank you.
I feel like you'd have to remind yourself not to lose it, since at the end really getting all this money throughout the year for this Cash Carnival and yeah.
Another suggestion, one, I actually kept my money in my wallet to the point where I'd go to Barnes & Noble and I'd take out the Monopoly money instead, and I'd be like, oh, oops. The lady looked at me weird. But the second thing is maybe we should have two of them, two Cash Carnivals, and one would be more small scale. So if you just couldn't wait any longer, then you'd spend it all then, but it would be more like an investment technique or saving your money for longer so that you could save it for the big Cash Carnival at the very end, and that way interest won't fizzle as much.
Or maybe have an opportunity to spend it at the social events.
Oh. What if you what if you had an FYF bank, but you'd have to pay fees to use it? That way you can decide whether to keep your money and have the responsibility of keeping track of it, or just leave it in the bank.
Good idea.
Also, going with what she said, I feel like you should have stocks, to see if you invest your money in there, you can gain more money, and then if you put it in a stock and you lose, you can take away that money, so that way you're getting a raise and you're losing it. So.
Interesting.
Have any of you guys played the stock market game? Because I played it freshman year and I signed up for sophomore year, but I never got to play it. Anyway, it's really, really fun. You're given at the very beginning, right, a certain amount of money, and then you're like, go into the real world, and buy all these stocks and see how they grow. I think we should have something like that for Finance Your Future, and that'll be another way to earn Monopoly money, but also figure out how much risk is involved.
Okay, the original idea for the program was that parents would play a more active role in the program. Do you feel like their participation would have improved or negatively impacted the program, and why?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
I think that depends. It depends on what you wanted the adults to do. Like, as for, like, throughout the course, they would help and, like, give advice to the kids when the instructors would talk about certain topics. They'd kind of, like, tell the audience, the class, like, real-world experience of what they've went through in the past and how they dealt with it. So I think that helped. As far as game participation, I think if they were here, that would be nice if they participated in that, too. But, yeah, I just think it depends on what you would have had them do. Like, if, you know, I think it would have helped.
Well, I really don't think that they were like necessary because I feel like it would have changed how we would have like answered questions, or like if your mom was sitting right next to you and you're more of like a listener and she was like, "Oh, answer this question, answer this." Like I think it would have changed how we would have like enjoyed ourselves.
I do like how some parents participated in the sessions, so they did give us like real world experience. But I feel like they wouldn't help when we're spending our money because they'd be all, no, don't spend it here, spend it here. And because it's our money and we want to experience how it's like to control money.
I'm going to be like 10,000% honest here. It really depends on certain factors, like one, how much time of the parent that actually earns the money at your house has to come and give you their, wisdom, but you could also get that at home. The second thing is it depends on, okay, if I were eating a ton of donuts and my mom saw me, she'd probably be like, no, don't do that. And then I'd be like, oh, but mom. The third thing is, I know there are certain parents who really, really, really like answering questions when it's like you're asking the kid, but the parent will come in and answer the question for them. And in order for the kid to learn, that shouldn't happen, but there's no real good way to talk to a parent and say, like, please let your kid answer the question. I think at certain times it makes for a lot of awkward situations, especially when maybe the parent feels that it is their job to make their kid answer every question, like she was saying. I
feel the same way about that. I feel like at some of the sessions I attended, the parents participated more than the kids. Like they'd ask like a ton of questions that weren't really relevant to the kids, and then like they'd answer all the questions and raise their hands and do more than the kid was doing. So I feel like that was sort of different.
Yeah, I think it really depends because yeah, it's great that like at a few of the sessions there were some parents there who gave us like real world experience, but then the thing is I feel like there's a certain type of pressure put on you if your parents are around that you need to like answer the questions, you need to be an active participant and all that. And for some people that's not really like what they want to do, because for me, like, I learn better when I'm just listening and like even if other people ask questions, just listening to their questions. And it's a lot easier to like raise your hand and ask questions when your parents aren't around, because you don't feel like that type of pressure to like, oh, I need to ask the right type of question, I don't know what to ask, that type of thing. So
I kind of like, I enjoyed coming here because it was like a teen space, and I know if my mom was like sitting with me, she'd be like poking me, she'd be like, why didn't you answer that, you knew that. She'd be like, raise your hand, why didn't you raise your hand? And like it would just be really like awkward, and then she'd be like, ask this question, and so I probably wouldn't have enjoyed that as much.
I just have a question. Is this program going to like happen next year too? Because I'd really like it if it did. I'd come again.
We don't know in what form at this point.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next question. What could we have done to attract more teens to the program? We're just looking for ideas, if you guys have any.
This like the program covered a lot of like almost everything about financing, and I think if you just like had one really long period of time where you just covered stuff about college, then that would attract a lot of people because like college is so close, and like almost everybody goes to college, so and nobody knows how to save for it because they don't teach us that in school. So I think that would have really helped.
I think that like activities and review games at like the end of each like session would have been helpful. Like how we did that by I think it was like 2 sessions or 1 session ago with the ball, and then how our thumb landed on like a letter or a word. And you had to describe it or say what came to your mind. So that was like really helpful.
I believe that advertising could be improved by going to Athens and Troy High, because I learned this program from Athens because I attend school there. So I feel like you guys need to kind of spread the word, kind of not just like in the newspaper, but kind of to the schools as well, because that's how I learned from this program. And it was like a shame that I didn't come in the beginning, because if I knew I would have, but I came kind of like in the middle. So I wish it could like the advertising could be spread to the schools.
Okay, 3 things. 1, mention that there's food. 2, change the time so that it's not right when the library opens. And then 3, I totally agree with her. Since we've worked with the librarians from the other schools before, I definitely know, like, if Finance Your Future wanted to tell the students, like, just go in as an assembly, it's obviously an entity from the library, so the librarians wouldn't be against that, and the schools definitely wouldn't be against that. And it's really important for these kids to get into good colleges, so I'm sure that the principal would be all for it. So let's get an assembly in there.
Yeah, definitely advertising at school, because just like 2 days ago, my English teacher actually advertised about the like writing program that's going on here in July. And then so like I know like teachers wouldn't be against advertising it at school, and especially since like it's free. It's not like you guys are trying to get anything from us. And like librarians and the principal, I think everybody at the staff at school would be fine with advertising it.
Were there any more hands? It is a little after 11.
I think it's 10. Can we look at the agenda and see if we're to 11:10 or 10:15? Till 11 and then till 11:15. Okay.
We can probably go another couple minutes.
Wanna go? Okay. Got a few.
Yeah. Because we do have a couple of important questions to ask.
Just up one.
Yeah. What have you taken? What are you going to take away from the program? What have you learned that you think is going to stay with you for the rest of your life?
Most likely, like the saving techniques that they taught us here, like save a certain % of your paycheck, or like the pay yourself first thing, because I'm already starting to implement that. Like if I ever have any like spare money or anything, I'm putting a certain amount in my piggy bank and using a certain amount for other things, so that I can like start saving up at least a little amount until I get like my first job or something.
Very smart. So proud of you. That's awesome.
For me, like I'm going to take away like the stocks and the bonds and stuff, because if I never came here, I probably would have never invested in any of those. So I think that would be helpful in the future.
I am taking away www.savingforcollege.com, and then this other website that the lady gave us on, I think the night, she said, the night that you become eligible for scholarships, then you go onto this website and you put in your information, and then it just automatically signs you up for everything that you could ever want. Yeah.
FAFSA?
Oh, FAFSA?
.gov. .gov. Mm-hmm.
She was talking about scholarships for being redheaded.
Oh, I think we have a hand over here.
Is this your Hannah? Your hand is up? Yeah.
I would definitely take away the retirement. I never fully understood retirement, but now that I see that what it's about now, I definitely take that and probably formulate my own way of retirement. I'm definitely taking away the savings and the bonds and stuff. That was kind of review. It did give a more definitive definition, but mainly the retirement stuff. I never fully understood that. Now it's much more clear, and yeah, I'd definitely be taking that away.
For the retirement as well, I think I took most of what I'm going to be using for the rest of my life with that session, because also the teacher did a really great job of using examples and numbers, so I could really get a clear picture of like what was necessary to be able to like live comfortably.
I think we'll ask one more question, and then we'll move on to the backpacks.
Okay, sounds good.
I took a lot of information from this program. I learned about things that I've never heard of before, and I learned about different ways that I could use to save my money and to spend it wisely, and also to save it like for my future and like once I retire. So I feel like this program did offer a lot of information that teenagers should really know about to save for college and retirement and just probably middle life.
Anyone else? Okay. Do you feel that you have a better understanding of the cost of college and other major expenses because of this program?
I think definitely, because like before the program I severely underestimated how much college would actually cost, and like the difference between like out of state colleges and in-state colleges and everything, and all the other expenses like the living expenses and everything there. So I think it was really helpful that they like broke down all like all college expenses and gave us a more like in-depth understanding of like how to pay for them and how to like stay out of having too much student debt.
I was going to say yes, and then I realized there could have been more done about the nitty-gritty details. Like, I still don't know if a full ride scholarship includes like boarding and stuff like that. Does it mean that if it's a full ride, you get all the things that you could ever want at this college? I just don't know. So the fact that I still have questions means that we didn't either have enough time to ask those questions or we didn't go deeply enough.
And do you feel that you can come to library staff to help you answer those questions?
Yes and no. It's more of a deal about who you're asking about. Is it like you? Can I come up to ask you if we can get everything paid, or like is it like librarians?
Right. We have the adult reference desk, and we have Olivia, who is our teen librarian, who has gone to school to be a librarian. Do you feel comfortable approaching someone in the library to ask that question, and if it isn't the right person, maybe they can direct you to the right person?
Like I said for the last question, I'd want to say yes, but the answer is no, because I feel like when I come to this class, this is the allotted amount of time that I have to ask about that kind of stuff. And then when I see Olivia outside of this room, outside of this time, I'm usually talking to her about tab. And then other librarians, I'm talking to them about books, but not scholarships.
I really appreciated the emphasis they put on college, like all the activities they had, like to go to your dream college. I appreciated how the class was like telling you that you needed to prepare, and it really showed me that I always thought like the numbers would be higher. I like how they gave you like exact examples. Like it didn't seem impossible anymore. They gave you all these tools, then they show you the real numbers, and it wasn't like, because all I had grown up, everybody always talked about college like it was the impossible thing, but it was always what you were trying to achieve. But it really wasn't impossible. Like, it's just like, it's not impossible. And then the tools you got in this class, you really felt like empowered to fulfill your dreams. And you felt like you really could get the money, save it up. You could be responsible for your own future. You didn't feel like alone anymore. I really like how the course educated you on a lot of the stuff that you would have needed to know when you were ready to go to college. You didn't feel like there's gonna be a day, it's gonna pop up, and I'm not gonna be prepared. You felt like you could be prepared, and I really appreciated that.
Like he was saying, like how like about like looking at like what colleges like really like look for, and like that one day we went to the lab over there. I thought that was like really fun, like because we actually like got to learn like how much everything costs and everything, like the expenses of house living and yeah.
I know there was a bit of a kerfuffle, but how many of you attended the session at Oakland University? Do you think that was helpful? Hmm? The session where you guys got to tour Oakland University.
The tour was kind of oblivious to the course, but the actual stuff we went over, it was helpful.
Okay.
Were you asking if the information at the course was helpful, or the trip to Oakland?
Do you think the trip to Oakland was helpful?
No, it was like freezing cold outside. I didn't take the tour.
And any last comments? I think we're looking to wrap up the session, or wrap up this part of the session.
I was gonna comment on the trip to Oakland thing. Like, I feel like the information presented at that session, like, the actual like lecture part of it before that was a little helpful, but the trip around Oakland, it kind of depends on like whether or not you were ever planning to go to that school or not. Because like I wasn't actually planning, and I'm just like, okay, so this is an option, all right. But like some people, they weren't even planning to go to that school, so that might have been like irrelevant to them.
Did it give you any feel for the college experience?
What was the overall purpose of going to Oakland? Was it to give you the college experience, or just to tour the school? Because I've been to places where, you feel like you're in college. That was just like, I'm walking around the building. Look, they got the bear team, and they got the cafe over there. It wasn't like, it was like it was nice. It was like a nice visit. I don't understand the purpose of it.
That session actually came together accidentally. Because the library was closed due to unforeseen circumstances, so we were looking for other options, and so they let us use their facility.
Okay, well, so that's why it was nice, but it wasn't like really. It was nice. I'll just leave it at that.
I feel like for the program that you guys should bring in advisors from the actual colleges to come and talk to us and tell us the approximate expenses, and to give us more information, not on just like expenses, but also like classes there and the opportunities that we can take. So also that's another thing that we can learn and know about.